Welcome back, Snarky friends. I'm so glad you're here with me today. Got a lot of fun stuff to talk about. We've got a Dear Snarky letter about camp and a mother-in-law that's meddling. Then I have my pet peeve, and it's travel idiots. Because there's way too many travel idiots out there. And in my confession, well, you're just going to have to wait and see what that confession is. But a super long snarky letter, or long for me. I don't like the really long letters. But this one is a long letter. And I'm just going to give you fair warning. This is another one of those letters that if you agree with the woman who wrote me the letter, you're off my friend list. Off of it. We cannot be friends. Okay, let's get to it. Dear Snarky, I'm having a problem with my mother-in-law and my 12-year-old daughter. For generations, the girls in my family have gone to the same 7-week girls-only sleep-away summer camp in New England. The camp is amazing. Swimming, horseback riding, water sports, tennis, lacrosse, you name it. The only problem is my daughter has always hated it. She started going when she was 7, and every year she begs not to go and gets depressed before she leaves for camp. Now, my feelings are that it's a family tradition, so that's important. And when she gets to camp, she probably enjoys it. I think a lot of what is going on is just theatrics. But I will admit that when we pick her up from camp, the first thing she says is, "When can I stop going?" Now, my mother-in-law, dun dun dun, has entered the conversation, and she requested a meeting with my husband and I, and had the nerve to tell us at the meeting that we were doing irreparable harm to our daughter, who is now a tween, by forcing her to go to camp. She said that our daughter confided in her and said that she dreads it all year and it makes her sad. The camp is very athletic based, and since our daughter is not very athletic, she gets picked on and is made to feel less than for 7 entire weeks. My mother-in-law continued that by saying that our daughter doesn't mind going to camp, but she would prefer a camp that was more arts-based than all about sports and sports challenges. Then she told us that if we cancel camp for our daughter, she would cover whatever fees that would arise because her granddaughter's emotional health is priceless. Dramatic much? But now my husband is all about forcing our daughter not to go about, but now my husband is all about not forcing our daughter to go to camp. And you know what? I'm furious. It's a family tradition that she goes to camp, and she'll be just fine. For God's sake, she's gone for 5 years and survived. Am I wrong here? As a mother, I know my daughter better than anyone else, so my mother-in-law can butt out and shut up. Woo! How do I handle my mother-in-law moving forward? Because I think she overstepped, and she needs to back off. Sign, it's camp. It's not that deep. Oh, Dear, it's camp, it's not that deep. You're this close to getting your mother card yanked. That's my new thing. I'll be yanking mother cards from others that do not meet the standards and expectations of being a mother. Good Lord, you crazy loon. That's all I have to say. Your kid is 12. She tells you every year she hates camp. She tells you she's sad about going to camp. She had to go confide in her grandma, and God bless the mother-in-law, you get to keep your mother card. Finally somebody that would listen to her and go, I don't like it, okay? I don't know why I have to go. I'm not into sports. She's not sporty spice. She doesn't want to have 7 weeks of sports and sports challenges, and then it sounds like she's getting picked on by the other kids. Actually, and I know this is not about me, but that's my idea of hell, going to an all-sports camp, as someone who has no sporting talents. Literally my idea of hell. So you're not listening to her. Her grandma sat down and listened to her and really took what she said to heart. And have you been living in a cave for since you gave birth? Because kids' mental health is really important now. We listen to our children. We take their fears, their anxieties, their sadness very seriously. The days of saying, shut up and suck it up are over, and thank God for that. They're gone. They're gone. If she is miserable for 7 weeks, why do you want to do that? Oh, you know why you want to do it? Because it's some stupid family tradition. Let go. You know what? She's done her service to the family tradition. She's gone to this camp and been miserable for 5 years. Isn't that enough? She had to reach out to her grandma because you're not listening to her. I applaud your mother-in-law. I think She listened to her granddaughter. She took what her granddaughter said to heart. She called a meeting, and thank God for that, with you and your husband. She told you what your child was telling her. And then she offers to say, hey, if you're worried about the money, because you've probably already paid for camp, I'll cover it. But just please do not make her go. So I'm guessing your grandma, the mother-in-law is many, many years older than you, and she even has it figured out that when a kid tells you they're sad, when a kid tells you they're depressed, when a kid tells you you're miserable over something like camp, which is optional, it's not like school, you listen to them. Your daughter, love her, is even saying, I will go to camp, but can it be like a theater camp, an art camp? I don't want to go to a sports camp. But you, because it's a family tradition, that's all you're hearing. I mean, are you getting gold stars from your family because your daughter goes to this camp? What you enjoyed as a child may not be the same thing that your daughter enjoys. And she could be a very gentle soul, a very gentle spirit. She does not like all this competitive stuff. I'm sure it makes her very anxious. So for you to be mad at your mother-in-law, honey, you should be on your hands and knees thanking your mother-in-law for telling you this. And as for your husband, well, I'm glad his ears were open. And he's like, yeah, we're not going to force her to go anymore. So, you know what? You're doing the wrong thing if you make her go to camp. You know what? You are doing the wrong thing. She is 12. She is all in her feelings. Do not make her go. And like I said, you really should be thanking your mother-in-law. And you really, because your daughter is entering the teen years, especially as a girl, you better work on your listening skills. You better work on your observation skills so you can observe what's going on with your daughter. You can be in tune to her moods so you know when to be worried, when to check in with her, when to sit down and have a talk with her about her feelings, instead of just saying, well, I like being a teenager when I was a kid. Well, when I was a kid, I was happy. No, you know what? That doesn't work anymore. That doesn't work. You have to be a better, smarter, more caring parent. And get out of how you felt back in the day. Because quite frankly, no one cares. And your child needs you, and your child needs you to listen. So this letter right here, it's horrible. Do better. And you know what? Once again, God bless your mother-in-law. God bless your mother-in-law. Because she did the right thing. And if it hurt your feelings to hear that your daughter doesn't like camp, because it sounds like you're making it all about you, too bad. Get over it. Good God. The young girl suffered enough. Think about your daughter instead of your stupid family tradition. Ugh, I'm serious. Mom card, it's about to be pulled. Okay, that's the letter. Let me know what y'all think. I'm worried about this kid. What a dumb mom. When your daughter or son becomes a teenager, all right, this little girl's 12, you better start pumping your emotional muscle because it is so hard to be a parent of a teenager. You have to be at the top of your game. You have to be attuned to what's going on. You have to listen. You have to observe. You have to do maybe some investigative research on your own because they might not tell you things. You got to be on top of it if you want to successfully take your child from teenagehood into adulthood. It's not for slackers. And it's not for people that live in the Wayback Machine and like to make everything about them. Well, I didn't feel that way. Well, I liked this. Why doesn't she like it? She should like it. No, the suck it up, get over it days are over. And if you're a parent and that's how you parent, well, I feel sorry for your child. I'm just going to tell you that right now. We as parents have evolved and we're better at it. Okay. That's the letter. Okay, now I want to go into my peeves. And y'all, I have peeve notes. So that's when you know it's a good peeve. Okay, my peeve is travel idiots. Y'all, 271 million Americans will be getting on airplanes or have been on airplanes this summer. And out of that 271 million, 200 million are idiots. They're freaking idiots. They don't know what they're doing. I mean, it is a problem. I mean, I haven't been on a Greyhound bus in years. I mean, seriously, I used to go by Greyhound bus to places. I used to go visit my boyfriend, now husband, by getting on a Greyhound bus. Now, no. I mean, no, it scares me, quite frankly. Okay, just the bathroom in the bus. God, you can smell that. I just can't. I can't do a bus. Okay, enough about that. Like, okay, this is what I don't understand. And you see this on social media all the time. Like it's a brag that you had to run for your flight, or you're going to be late for your flight, or you left your house late for your flight. Will you make it? I'm not thinking, will you make it, and watching you on your journey. I'm thinking you are the world's biggest idiot. The only time I've run for flights is when the plane is very delayed and I have a connecting flight, and then you get off and you have to run for the flight. But that's through no fault of my own. That's through like the scheduling thing and a plane leaving the gate late and your connection's messed up, okay? That is the only time I've run for a plane. You're just proving that you are intellectually challenged if you're running for a plane. Also, if you haven't figured out, like you have to get there for TSA, you got to build in time. I don't understand the people that don't work backwards in their travel plans. Like, this is going to be the worst case scenario. Let's, we're going to, plan from that. So I bet like TSA is backed up. We need to get here this early. Or maybe, we got to park out in the hinterlands because the parking close to the airport's all full. You need to plan for the worst case scenario and then arrive to the airport based on that worst case scenario estimate. That's being a smart traveler. I have no patience for people that like get to the airport late and run for their flights. It's like, can you not read? And speaking of cannot read, people that cannot read their boarding pass. There is a difference between when your flight is backing out of that gate and when you need to be there to board. There are so many rules now. You need to get there before you have boarding starts. And if you're like, oh, I'm in a later group, or I'm with Delta, but I'm in like, economy or something, whatever, I don't have to get there. No, you get there early. That is not a flex to run for your flight, and it's not a flex to get to the airport late. It's a sign of stupidity, and I'm frankly concerned about you, and maybe you should drive. That's what I'm thinking. Maybe you should drive. Okay, besides the running for the plane, it is the hideous bad manners. I talked about people, clipping their toenails on planes and all that hideousness stuff. I'm not going there. These are new things. Yeah, no. So it's just the bad manners. They just need to have a banner when you walk in the plane that says, remember, you are not at home. You are in public. People get on those planes and they act like they're at home, taking their shoes off, sprawling out, maybe not having the best, body odor care. They get on there. They're at home. They're going to pick their nose in public. They talk to whoever they're with if they're traveling with family like they're at home. I mean, there's an at-home voice and there's an out-in-public voice. Let's embrace the out-in-public voice, okay? Yeah, it's bad. It is bad. And then, oh gosh, I hate to say this because the whole podcast so far has been me ragging on parents. I'm going to stay with that theme. Dumb parents. Dumb parents. These parents that board a plane with nothing for their children to do. Let me tell you, when my kids were little, I had a backpack that could have entertained them, a month. We had snacks. We had like movies, back then it was the DVR. You couldn't download stuff. We had toys. We had magnetic board games. We had coloring books. I had it all. They would lack for nothing because I lived in fear of them annoying the other passengers, because it's a courtesy. It's a courtesy to make sure that there's enough to get your child through however long that flight is. That backpack was stuffed full of goodies. And I'd have new stuff in there. So be ooh, surprise, look at this. Coloring book, a new one, from the dollar store. Who cares? You bring a bunch of stuff for them to do. You don't get on the plane, have your kids sit there and kick the back of someone's seat the whole entire flight for entertainment. For shame. Yes, I'm bringing that back. For shame. And then when the kid's kicking back of the seat, finally the parent will say something like, stop. Or don't do that, but then they don't reinforce it. The kid keeps on doing it, but they go, well, they did their due diligence. They said, stop, don't do that. So that's it. That's all they can do. Yeah. Yuck. So another thing, y'all, this could just be me, but it can't be me. It can't. Tell me this is not just me. Like before you board the plane, the amount of parents that let their children crawl on the floor of the airport, they might as well just put them in a petri dish of every bacteria known to mankind. Kids crawling on the airport. Maybe little goldfish crackers are on the floor. They're shoving those in their mouth. And don't make a joke. Well, it means they're going to have a great immune system. No. No, it means none of that. It's disgusting. Get your children up off the floor. Sure, if you want them to run around and get the wiggles out, you can, take them to a deserted, gate that no one's at. Have them do a few laps where they're not going to be bothering anybody. But yeah, that crawling around. And meanwhile, the kid's crawling around when parents are on their phone. So I guess they're thinking, well, the kid's not bothering me. It gives me the heebie-jeebies. It makes me worry for the child's health. Because there's your kid going on vacation. Kid's going to be sick. That's fun for everyone, most especially the kid. Poor thing. I mean, do better. Do better. And then another thing, I will wrap this up. Another thing that just drives me crazy is people being disrespectful to flight attendants and to the other passengers. And this new thing we have going on, it must be stopped. Plane stops, right? It's landed, it's taxied to the gate. People in the back row get up before the people like in the front. We disembark from a plane in an orderly fashion. The front goes first, and that's how it empties out. But now people just stand up and walk to the front. It's like, what? What? Before the planes the gates even open or whatever the door is to get out. They're standing up there. That's not how you do it, okay? And one of the main reasons you do it, front to back, is because it makes sense. But another thing, you have people trying to get their suitcases out, okay? From up top. It has to be done in an orderly fashion. I don't know what you think you're doing. I mean, back in the day of politeness, like if you were going to be think you're going to miss your flight, connecting flight, you could tell the flight attendant, hey, can I get off first because I got to run for a flight? And the flight attendant will make an announcement. If you have a connecting flight, let's let them get off first. But now everyone says they have a connecting flight. So that doesn't work anymore. So, they can't even do that. So it's bad. It's bad. You sit your ass down until it's your turn to disembark from the plane. You don't get up from the back and go to the front. It ruins the whole majesty of disembarking from an airplane. Yeah, and people need to be called out on that. It needs to be stopped. The flight attendants need to stop that. They need to make an announcement. This is how we get off a plane, and this is how we're going to do it. Thank you. I volunteer to make that announcement. I'll do it every single flight. I would do that. Okay, so there's my peeve. And it's a good one. Think 271 million people getting on airplanes and how many people just suck getting to the airport on time, going through security, getting to their gate, boarding a plane, and entertaining their children or themselves while they're on the plane. It's terrible. Oh, and you know what? You could talk on your plane during flights. They tell you can't because every bitch would be on their plane on speakerphone and drive everybody else crazy. People just wouldn't get off their phones. That's why they say you can't do it. It's not about that we can't handle it, technology can't handle it. It's that they know it would be a hellscape. Even worse than the current hellscape of flying. It would be the depths of hellscape, which is why you can't do that. I can't imagine. Can't imagine. At all. Okay, now to my confession that you had to wait for, and I'm sorry about that. But here goes. My confession, and again, you'll judge me harshly. You'll disagree with me about this. You'll tell me how foolish I am. I don't care. I don't care. I stand by my confession. My confession from the Snarky Confessional is I hate summer. I hate summer. I'm a summer hater. I'm a summer hater, and I've been a summer hater for a long time, and I'm not ashamed. Not ashamed. And you know what the problem with being a summer hater is? Instead of getting compassion, people should give you compassion if you hate summer because I am a winter girl having to live through summer. No, it's horrible. But instead of compassion, I get looks. I get side eye. I have to hide the fact that I'm a summer hater because it upsets people so much. And they get so mad. And here's the reason why. Summer has been put on a pedestal. Summer, we've been sold propaganda that summer is the best season. You create the best memories in summer. You have the best time in summer. Do you? Just asking for a friend. Do you? It's all propaganda. It's all propaganda. Propaganda so much so that if you admit, God forbid, admit that you had a bad summer or you don't like summer, people come for you. The summer lovers will absolutely come for you. You can't say you had a bad summer. In fact, if you confess that, people automatically will label you as a loser because you don't live for summer. Case in point, my friends. Case in point. First day of school. What do all the teachers ask? Did you have a good summer? What did you do for summer? Tell me about your summer. Sometimes you have to write a paper about what you did over summer. Teachers want to hear. And what they don't want to hear is you telling the truth about summer. Let me tell you, when I was a kid, teachers would ask that. I learned at an early age, don't say, I hate summer. No, I had to hide it. I had to tamp down my feelings. But if I was honest with a teacher in front of my classmates, this is what I would say. I would tell them that my dad is a Yankee, and we live in Texas, but since my dad's a Yankee, he didn't want to turn on the air conditioning until after July 4th, because that's what you do in Boston. That AC doesn't come until after July 4th. So you will live in Texas. You will swelter. You will believe that you are dying and getting smothered by the heat until July 4th. Then I would say, and you know what? You can't even get relief from the pools because it is so hot in Texas in the summer that when you swim in a pool, let's say by the time July rolls around, the temperature is 90 degrees. It feels like you are swimming in a pool of warm spit and cream of wheat. It's disgusting. It offers zero relief. And then my closing would be, my last and final paragraph would be that the only way I got any relief from the heat in the summer was opening the refrigerator door, opening the freezer door, and eating an 8-pack of popsicles. That's it. That's it. That's what I had to endure in the summer. I mean, really, when I shared all that with you, aren't you thinking, good God, girl, no wonder you hate summer. Finally, as my dad got older, the air conditioning got turned on sooner than July 4th. But, I don't know how we survived. I do not know how we survived. It was god awful. I did spend a lot of time in the library because it was air conditioned, and I think I'm a better person for it. So maybe that was his master plan. I don't know, but it was god freaking awful. Just horrible. And I'm telling you, no one wants to hear that take on summer. When I was telling you, you're probably like, I don't want to hear that, you freak, you summer hater, you weirdo. Because summer's always supposed to be epic, fun, awesome. When in reality, people, if you were honest with yourselves and did not buy into the summer propaganda, you would know that summer is hot, it's humid, and it's sticky. And the UVs are sent to us straight from hell, okay? I think the other day the UV was 11. It's like, oh my God. Oh my God. So, I try not to talk about my hatred of summer. I mean, hate's a hard word. Yeah, I just don't like it. I do not like being hot. Like I said, I'm a winter girl. I don't like being hot. I like being able to go outside and not apply a half gallon of sunscreen. I like not sweating. I like not feeling sticky. I like not everything I touch feeling sticky. And very importantly, summer ruins my McDonald's Diet Coke experience. Ruins it because you get the Diet Coke, it's already condensation all over, the cup. It's, and the ice is already melting, which dilutes the Diet Coke goodness, and you hold the cup in your hand. It's just like, it's not the same experience. It takes away that Diet Coke crispiness away from you. People are going, where's your Diet Coke? I had to cut back. I don't drink as many Diet Cokes in the summer from McDonald's because it's not the same experience, people. And it saddens me. It saddens me a great deal. But then sometimes, people, summer miracles do happen. Last week, my friends, I witnessed a miracle with my own two eyes. With my own two eyes, I witnessed a miracle. So I'm at Trader Joe's. And just, pro tip, I have found that Trader Joe's are very cold. People are in there shivering. I'm so cold, I'm so cold. And I'm walking on sunshine. I am so happy in that Trader Joe's. So I'm in Trader Joe's, and as you know, the cashiers are pretty chatty. I think they're told to be chatty and ask you about your day, blah, 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 very chatty. So the woman checking me out, says the usual thing, how's your summer going? And I decided, I'm just going to be honest, because usually I go, oh, it's great, it's fine, because no one wants to hear my business, and I understand that. It's a game. They ask you, you tell the person everything's fine. I go, but instead, this is what I said. I go, I hate summer. I hate being hot. So basically, I'm just trying to endure summer. And this woman, this checkout woman, this cashier who's ringing up my groceries stops mid-scan. She looks me straight in the eyes and she says, oh my God, I love you. She goes, I hate summer too, but I don't feel like I can tell anybody that. We had a moment. We had a moment. But before we could even just embrace that moment and just really let it spread joy through our body, the woman behind me, the next woman in line, screams kind of over my shoulder. She's like, no, I also hate summer. Y'all, we were triplets. We were triplets in just rejoicing and finding fellow summer haters. It's so rare. It's so rare. And then we started comparing the various things we hated about summer. They were all the same. Yeah. And one lady said, and I didn't mention this, the woman behind me, she's like, she just feels like all bloaty and like Chewbacca on slow-mo. That's what, she started, she did the, whoa, and I loved it. And I'm like, she does, she sounds like Chewbacca in slow motion. Just out of it. So we rejoice. And I wanted to say, let's go for a group hug. But then I thought that might make it weird. So I didn't do that. But I did say, you know what? We need to start a secret summer hating society. And we could meet up at really cold places like the Trader Joe's or maybe, the ice factories, where they have the ice. It'd be fun and have ice cold drinks. It would be a delight. They all agreed that would be great. Did we exchange information? No. Again, didn't want to make it weird, but I'm thinking we should exchange information. But we didn't. But yeah. To find two fellow summer haters, it was a miracle. You may say it wasn't a miracle. It was. I have to hide who I am in the summer because people will judge me. Right now, I am being brave by letting you know I'm a summer hater. I'm sure if I went to a therapist, it would be because my dad made me sweat in the summer and I've never gotten over it. And I, have feelings that I need to get out about that, and they've been channeled into hating summer. But yeah, it's gross. It's the worst season. It is the worst season. But I honestly think I need to start a secret society of summer haters, and we would have meetings until fall came. But where I live now, fall used to come after Labor Day. Not anymore because summer's a bitch, okay? And it's just sucked up more months because now, I swear to God, it doesn't start cooling down till mid-October. I even looked in October last year, 2024, we had more days over 80 than we've ever had before. Summer is where you're pulling out the sweatshirts, people, okay? I'm not putting on my Halloween decorations sweating, but no, thanks to summer, it's sucked up more months. And I know there's a name for that, and it's called climate change. So, don't feel like you got to tell me that in the comments. But yeah, it's terrible. So if you want to join my secret society of summer haters, let me know, because I think we need to start planning events or Zoom calls, where we have big frosty drinks and we just talk about all the stuff we hate. You can bond over stuff like that. I think it'd be excellent. Basically, any occasion where I'm bitching about something, I'm really happy. Excruciatingly happy if I'm bitching about something. So, and talking with my hands. Yeah, to me, that would be thrilling and I delight. So let me know in the comments. Okay, guys, that's all I've got for this podcast. I hope you had fun. And if you didn't agree with me, that's okay. I'll get over it because I'm brave. All right, what I need you to do, I'm not brave at all. I was kidding when I said I was brave about summer because there's nothing brave about me, okay? Just want to have that go on the record. Y'all, speaking of summer, if you want to do summer reading at the pool, beach, mountains, air conditioning, please, please, please buy one of my books. There's a show description and there's a link. Just click the link. It will take you to all the Snarky books. You can read them on your phone, ebook, audiobook. Audiobooks are great. I'm totally into audiobooks. Paperback, do it. They're all fun. They're all adventures. They're all revenge based. So if you like listening to me blah, 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 you can read me, blah, blah, blah. These stories are fiction, but go ahead and read them. They're super fun, and I would really, really, really appreciate that. Oh, and if you want to leave comments, on YouTube, Spotify, whatever, do that, because that's good for me. And I just want to tell you guys that thanks. I still think we all need to get together. If you don't hate summer, we need to get together. We need to talk and just shoot the shit. I think that would be great. But have a great day. I hope it's not too hot. And if you're a summer hater and it's hot, I'm with you. I'm sending you thoughts and prayers. And I hope you will do the same for me. Okay, have a great day. Great day. Thanks for listening. Okay.